go, 'cause your love is what I want, babe.
Hi guys, how are you? I hope you're good. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Wanjiru Ngugi, and in this channel I share my experiences as an African living in the USA, and these are things that I feel like they're very helpful and every foreigner should learn about them. And today I'll be sharing with you the culture shocks that I've experienced so far. And number one is that getting rich in America is not guaranteed. Yes, I said that. For some reason, the moment you get into a plane to go to America, it feels like, oh, my breakthrough has come. But to be honest, for that to happen, it takes blood and sweat. You have to work really hard, you have to work really smart, you have to break so many barriers for you to get to that point where you're like, yes, I've made it. It takes you, like, you have to have the willpower to do whatever it takes for you to be able to live the kind of life that you want. That means the big cars you see on TV, the big houses that you see on TV, going places, you have to really work hard for that, because again, the lifestyle over here is expensive and you can't compare it to Kenya, because it's a first world country, and if you hear is a first class, whatever, first world country, it means that life is fast, like everything like keeps going. So you have to really be ahead and really think like the more advanced a country is, the more advanced your thinking and the way you do things has to be. Number two is that you're most likely to get depressed during your first year stay, like if you're like a completely new person in here. Chances of you getting depressed are very high because, number one, the homesickness is real. The change in time, weather, environment, just basically everything, because everything changes, including the kind of food that you are used to. You have to take, just like everyone else, just like everyone else, when you're going to a new place, a different place, it takes some adjusting to do. So when you are adjusting, it's not really easy. The transitioning from what you are used to, from your comfort zone to this whole new life, takes a toll on so many people. And again, especially in African countries and other countries, I believe so, people are very social. But when you move here, you're most likely to keep to yourself. Why? Because you hardly even see your neighbors, because people are always busy, up and down, working. And people hardly have time to sit down, catch up, and do the things that they're supposed to be doing as families, as opposed to how we are used to. Because, like in my country, Kenya, like every day is a party day. People like see each other very often, people interact very often. But over here, you might stay, like I remember the first time I came here, I would stay indoors for a whole week without going outside. Not because I didn't want to. Number one, it's because where am I going? Number two, again, the weather, sometimes it's too hot, sometimes it's too cold. So you're like, what's the point? And even when you're walking in the streets, it's kind of weird. It feels like you're doing, personally I felt like I was doing something illegal, because again, you don't see so many people walking aimlessly on the streets. So yeah, another point is that you have to be very self-reliant. One thing about here, you have like to do things for yourself. What do I mean? Let's say something like fuel in your car. In my country, Kenya, you just drive up to the gas station, there's an attendant, You just roll your window down and tell them, can you please fuel my car? Like, they know that's their role. That's why they are there in the first place. So you just say them like how much the amount of gas you want in your car. Somebody will fuel it for you, somebody will clean your windshield, and that's it. But over here it's very different. You fuel your own car, like you have to fuel it yourself. You clean, if you want to clean your windscreen, you do it. Nobody's there to help you. So yeah, another thing, like when you go to the stores, the grocery stores, there are those that have the self-checkout option. Like you go to the grocery store, pick your stuff, put them in a cart, go check yourself out, put them in your bags, then bring them to your car. Back home, there are people who have the luxury of somebody checking out their goods, then taking them to their car. But over here, it's not like that. In most cases, is the least they can do is to help you check out, like check the goods out for you. But the rest, you have to do it yourself. Another point is fixing hair is so expensive. Like, it's expensive. If you think about it, like, I actually don't know of a career that pays that much money in an hour. I'll say, like, to fix simple braids, like, what do you call them, the knotless braids, just a regular length, it's around $200. When you convert that money to Kenya shillings, that's a whooping $20,000. You're like, what? Just for hair? And again, it's not hair that's going to last you more than a month. So sometimes it gets you into doing your maths and you're like, well, is this really worth it? And again, you'll fix your hair. I'm not trying to justify, but again, you fix your hair, but you do not go anywhere other than job and home, work and home. So you'll be like, is that really worth it? And I don't know whether it's just me, but most Africans think like, why do I have to spend this much money on these particular things, and it's not that important anyway, and I can at least send this money to someone back home, and this money might be of help. So that's how we think. You might go to the store and find something. Like the other day I went to the store and a sugar cane was a whooping $4. That's 400. It was a really thin sugar cane, number one. Number two, it was not that good, but again, it's a whooping 400 shillings. You're like, no, is this worth it? But again, sometimes I think like, you're working, so just get the damn thing and enjoy. But most of the times we find ourselves doing the math, and when you do the math, you're very cautious when you're spending your money. I think it's a good thing, because at the end of the day, we have so much that we want to accomplish, and if you're not very careful about that money, you might end up not fulfilling your dreams or becoming whatever you wanted to become in the first place. Another thing that really shocked me is that when people get old, they are taken to nursing homes or group homes. Let's say you have your mother and she's old and you cannot be able to take care of her. So what happens, you take her to a nursing home and people will take care of her, then you'll pay. And the reason why most people do this, it's because they cannot afford to have, like, let's say your mom is sick and she needs medication, she needs other care, like she needs attention, but you're not able to because you really have to work so hard. And in the beginning, like, it was not sitting very well with me. I was like always questioning, how can you take your mom to a nursing home and you can really take care of her? But now I understand why. It's so hard and it's expensive to not work, because if you'll have to stay with her in your house, that means you can't work. And not working equals to not having money, and not having money, like if you don't have money, you cannot take care of your bills or whatever. Yeah, kids are expensive. Having babies, oh my god, I think having babies is one of the most expensive things. Generally, healthcare is expensive, but also having babies, like thinking about it, it's the most, like, I'll say it's a natural occurrence, but it costs an arm and leg. Like, if I translate the much it costs to have a baby, oh my god, you'll be like, whew, that's too much. From the prenatal clinics to the postnatal clinics to having the baby, it's crazily expensive. But in general, healthcare over here is very expensive. Thank you so much for listening to me. See you on my next video. Bye.